30 for 30 when I shoot. Man, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be reacting to Rick Ross, Rory, and more. Beef has escalated to a point of no return. Rick Ross know what he doing. He been in the news for the last like 2 weeks. He's talking about Drake. So everybody's just basically commenting on him backpedaling with his statements and shit like that. And I feel like he clout chasing, but he's about to drop an album, so he know what he doing. But let's see what Buddy talking about.
So the beef started when Rory and Mark came on their podcast and essentially reacted to Rick Ross doing these interviews and these recent tours where he's talking about Drake and he's saying he don't got no problem with Drake and he wished Drake well and he hoped Drake's rise above everything. And Rory and Mark, just like the rest of the world, thought that was weird given the circumstances of the last year and a half.
Drake, if you listening to this, homie, listen to me. My shine. I don't want to see you lose. No real want to see you lose. That ain't what about.
He sounds stupid for real. Honestly, you should just not even talk about Drake. Just you about to drop your album, do you, and let Drake do him. But it could go a good way and a bad way for Ross. Like, obviously, he's promoting. He's trying to keep his name out there. But, nigga, everybody will go against you because it looks stupid. So, I don't really know what's going on, buddy.
This culture, this game, this rap, this ain't what it's about. I don't want to see you lose. Real just want to see real shine together. Real come up together. You understand? When I was the number one in the rap game, I showed love. When French was on fire, he showed love.
Can we finally admit?
Nigga, Drake showed love. He showed you love, French love, everybody. Nigga, what the fuck? Multiple times. He didn't even have to. He was showing niggas love multiple times. 3, 4 hits. Like, the fuck?
That Rick Ross is weird.
Why? Why do you say that?
And I know this is
You saying finally admit, like we've been like holding that in. Like, what you mean finally admit? Like,
well, we did talk about this in the beginning after the Like That thing and then 20v1 started. And I know we are the Drake Bias podcast, but I'm speaking from a very objective place. We didn't put enough light into how weird it was that Rick Ross entered into that rap beef.
And they didn't come to this conclusion until after the Rick Ross and French.
Nah, that was weird how he just entered into the beef and then he didn't have no real good explanations on why he even dissed Drake. So he said on the last interview, he wasn't focused. Like, nigga, what do you care for?
Montana press tour. When Rick Ross entered into this Drake and Kendrick beef for no reason whatsoever, Rick Ross blamed it on a Drake and French Montana issue. So Kendrick Lamar is dissing Drake. Rick Ross hopped in and dropped a diss track on Drake too for no reason whatsoever. And he claims he hates Drake because Drake apparently didn't clear a record for French Montana. Now they're doing this press tour and Ross is...
So you have to put out a whole diss on a nigga because he didn't give another nigga a clearance. But nigga done cleared multiple songs, kept French out there sometimes. Nigga, like, what the fuck? And French got hits with other niggas in by itself, but Drake helped that nigga a couple times.
Next to French, and French is saying, I never felt no way about Drake not clearing that record. I never had no beef with it. So now Rick Ross is kind of forced to now change his tone to, nah, it ain't never been no beef for Drake. You know, it's always just competition. So Rory and Mal is justified for saying, okay, so if y'all never had no real issues, if French Montana and Drake never had no real issues, then why did Rick Ross enter into this beef again outside of cloud chasing? And now they're calling him weird for it.
Yes, what did you have to, like, why are you?
And I'm a Ross fan. And I'm saying it's weird also. So it's like, even real Ross fans are saying this is weird, and I don't like the way it's making him look.
You in this whole thing, and then you came up with an excuse that it was because Drake didn't clear his verse for French Montana's album, which made all the sense in the world because everyone was waiting for Drake to say something in the biggest moment, and it wasn't about to be a verse he did 10 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then French Montana is sitting next to him going like, nah, I was fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
So what the f you doing, Rick Ross?
But
you're finding any way to just get in this and now you're telling, yo, I want to see you win, homie. Shut up.
But we still-
Shut up. He's one of my favorite rappers. He's hilarious. His discography is incredible. But that's some weirdo. Like, that's super weird.
Yeah, but
is that not weird?
We knew what that was in the moment, though. We said that. We said it was weird for him to do that. We said he was trying to capitalize at the moment. He shot a video for the song with a bunch of Bel Air around him. Like, people were trying to capitalize in the moment. Like, we knew what that was. We knew what that.
Yeah, people could do that, but for Ross, people look at Ross as on a different level. So you just look like people really seeing like a clown side of you for real, and that's fucked up.
Okay.
It was a moment.
No,
People were
here's
trying to
the thing.
capitalize.
Even if it's petty reasons, I understand the Metro thing, and there's women involved, Weekend, there's exes involved, and maybe Drake someone's baby mother, or there's some slimy going on with women, because that's usually how things get to this point. Rick Ross said, oh, he didn't clear a verse for French, so I'm in this now. After he gave me all my #1 records.
Yeah, I mean,
That's like that. Everyone else, I understood why, even if it.
Nah, don't do that. Ross got hits without Drake. I can't let them do that. Don't do that. Drake got hits, but don't do that.
Wasn't a great reason. I understood why the 20v1 existed and everything in the history with Drake and certain artists. Rick Ross, who's his mans, just entered into that beef because he wanted to. I guess I'm saying it was called out, but it wasn't highlighted enough in that whole thing of why is Rick Ross doing this.
We're so far removed from that era, so I don't blame y'all if y'all forgot, because that era took place in 2024. The Drake and Kendrick beef happened in 2024. We're 2+ years removed. But when you go and put yourself back in that era, you really got to say, yo, what happened to Drake is nasty, man. That was one of the nastiest, worst moments of hip hop. People were waking up.
Yeah, that I ain't see. Me personally, I saw beefs. Meek and Drake was nasty, but I ain't never see so many rappers go at a nigga all at once. Like,
who had relationships with Drake, people who Drake had given a lot to and never did nothing, they woke up and said, hey, man, the world is going against Drake. All right, I can get a moment right now. If I go at Drake, I'm going to take that moment, even though Drake did nothing to me. And if you put yourself in Drake's shoes, you can't help but feel bad for the guy, bruh. People who you thought you was day ones with, who you been in this game with for 10+ years, who you really had they backstabbed you for a moment because they thought it was over for you. They thought this was your funeral and there will be no repercussions and no consequences for going at you. Now we know, that was a bad judgment because now Drake is back on top. And the worst part about it is the people who went out of their way to pick a fuss or pick a beef with Drake during that moment is now escalating the beef with Drake after Drake said, I don't rock with you. That's like somebody doing you filthy and doing you dirty for no reason whatsoever. And then you say, I don't like you, it's cool, F you. And now they're acting like you did them wrong. Now they're escalating the beef to heights because you said, I don't rock with you, and you're responding back to them doing you wrong. If you're the initiator of the beef, you can't act like I did you wrong when I respond. Rick Ross is online hating on Drake's new album because Drake didn't take the bait and squash the beef, where he went on his little press tour saying, Drake, I want you to win, bro. It's all love. Drake ain't take.
and that was stupid, nigga. The album's done. The shots have been shot already. Even if it didn't release yet, he's not gonna squash the beef with you. There's no even reason to squash the beef with you because you don't have no valid reason on why you went at him, or you're not saying the real reason in public. So the shit was useless. Like, you shouldn't even just mention the nigga. But I get you about to drop an album and okay.
That bait, and now he's acting like Drake did him wrong.
R.I.P. to the Drake stands. Can only imagine what that feels like. Well, I really couldn't. But for those that didn't know, I was a big boy making big boy records when homie was on Degrassi. Now, back to the big business.
Rick Ross.
You definitely had hits, but he came in the game after you and surpassed you. So that got to be a conversation too. So now we got to talk about that. If you're saying you had big boy records, but like, all this shit is pointless to me, Ross. What are you doing? Are you all right?
Actually heard what Rory and Ball had to say about him because Rick Ross is chronically online. And when Drake dropped his album and he heard the subliminals that Drake threw at him, Rick Ross took to social media to first off diss the Drake album, but also diss Rory and Mal and say things to Rory and Mal that no grown man should ever say to another grown man.
Bars. Say 3 albums of trash albums, 2 years too late. What site is this? Complex? The Glazer University. Oh my
Yeah, I seen this shit, but that nigga's crazy for this, for real.
God. I've been a long fan. Oh my God. Mr. YouTube. Big 3 anyway. There was too many chefs in the kitchen. Bars. Come on, guys. Stop. Y'all gotta.
He said bars.
Let's all leave little man's alone now, man. He did it. He dropped 3 mid projects. Hey, man, it was fun while it lasted. You're washed. It's a beautiful morning. Perfect time to feed yourself the knowledge. The knowledge. What's that? Rory and Mal, get off your knees. Get the testicles out of your mouth now. I don't know which one.
That nigga is disrespectful.
The white one or the black one. Y'all both the same. Rory Mal, the Glazers. The Glazers. How y'all feel now? You know, Drake just committed. Should retire next month. How is his lawsuit doing? How is the Drake University lawsuit coming?
This is uncharted territories for Rory and Mal.
Terrible.
I could name a bunch of content creators that Rory and Mal has gone back and forth with, and outside of Joe Budden, if he still counts as a rapper, I can't recall another rapper that Rory and Mal has gone to war with. Like, they don't really beef with rappers. They don't really like go back and forth or disrespect rappers or people on their platform. However, when
other than Joe Budden, me personally, I haven't heard them go back and forth with nobody like that, for real.
Rick Ross go this far, you gotta go below the belt as well. So they recruited the help from Zip with the Drip, which is, you know, a New York podcaster who's tied to 50 Cent. Rick Ross and 50 got age-old beef. And they essentially...
I seen Zip. That nigga is loud. He don't give a fuck. He say anything.
Went at Rick Ross's neck, man. Now, Zip with the Drip primarily went at Rick Ross' neck, but Rick Ross will still take this offense as a Rory and Mal going at his neck, even though Zip with the Drip was the one who made the most flagrant offenses towards Rick Ross.
I thought Zip had already saw that Ross said he was talking about something else with Ross.
Yeah, don't
and I was
never
like,
say no. Show Ross.
Eyes. I was like, nah, it's fine, bro.
Show Ross.
I said, it's fine,
I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm passionate with these. Right? So if you ever say some like that again about some dick sucking, I'm saying we're gonna talk about how many dicks you saw as a correction officer, because that's your job to look at dicks and nuts and all of that. You did that. We're not gonna be talking about dick suckers when you done saw more dicks than the average man in this world. Like, it's not too many men on the planet Earth that saw more dicks than you.
Hey, yo, nigga. Why are y'all even having a conversation about, like, come on. That's terrible.
As a correction officer, let's get that out the way. You had the strip search. You looked at the balls. You made it separate the dick from the balls. You made it turn around and spread his ass open. You did that as a correction officer. You signed up for that. So we're not going to be talking about...
Pause, brother. Pause, brother. Pause, brother.
No imaginary dick suckers when you really did like that. Like, you saw more dicks than the average porn star in 1 year. 1 year working, you saw more dicks than the average porn star. Get the out of here. I'll never say no like that to none of my get out of here. You was taking urines? You was the urine test? Huh? How many dicks you saw doing that? You used to come take...
Zip.
Now, let me cook a little bit. Yo, you ever took the urine? They ever gave you that job, Rick Ross? While you was a CO, they ever gave you that job, the urines? Like, you ever took the urines? Like, you ever had to watch pee in that cup? Huh? You ever had to watch Soft put his wee-wee in the cup and pee?
This is insane. He's a jail nigga, so he's definitely talking from experience. This is insane.
And make sure he don't put nothing in it. Huh? You ever had to do that, Rick Ross? Huh? Don't make my mans no imaginary dick eaters when you maybe in your job had to watch the flaccid wee-wee in a cup and pee in it. Watch your mouth. respect my like don't do no that no
Yo,
more.
after you said he had to do cavity checks, I look at the title Port of Miami way different.
Right, you had to do cavity.
Holy shit.
You a CO.
Wow.
If y'all are not familiar with who Zip with the Drip is,
Wow.
do your homework. Yo, Zip is hilarious, bro. Yo, I follow Zip on Instagram for a while now. I tap into his YouTube channel like here and there. He's like, I guess, the newest addition to Rory Mal, which I think he's a great addition. Zip is hilarious. My only advice to Zip would be if I didn't know that Zip was linked to 50 Cent. My advice to him was, you don't ever want to jump off the cliff for your employer, right? If your employer got beef with somebody in the industry, let them handle that beef. You don't jump off the cliff, right? Because eventually these industry.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact too, because now, I'm not saying Ross is gonna give him an opportunity, but now certain people, the industry crazy. Certain people might not fuck with you because you jumped off the ledge for them niggas, but he being super loyal. But I don't like the response that he chose. That was crazy.
Dudes are back and forth from wishy-washy, right? These industry dudes are gonna be friends at some point. So I wouldn't jump off the cliff for my employer if I was Zip with the Drip, right? Even though I do believe that Rory and Mal are loyal and they would like make sure that Zip and Ross issues are good. If Zip, like burn his bridges with Ross because of them, right? Now, if Ross,
nigga, after what he said, that he'll never be cool with Ross. Ross is petty. That ship has sailed, brother.
Would have responded back to this, Ross would have been the dumbest person on the planet. But Ross got some brains to him, so Ross did respond, but not directly to Zip with the Drip. Ross decided he was going to attack Mal's family, more specifically Mal's brother, right? Because he believes that Mal's brother and Mal, I guess, are like the most notable figures and the lit ones that are worth his time, opposed to responding back to Zip with the Drip, right? Who would love that response, by the way, because Zip would have made 100,000 on YouTube if Ross would have responded directly to him.
That nigga would have turned that shit into 1 million clips. If you know Zip with the Drip, if you follow him, you know that nigga would have turned that shit into 1,000, 1 million clips. Word.
So Ross dropped this video that I believe crossed the line because now, like, Rick Ross is involving family members.
Rory and Mally, I see why Joe Buttons fired you losers. You on the equity. How dare you mean?
This nigga's petty as hell, bro.
Everybody log into Joe Buttons, not Rory and Mally, and let Biggs Burt know the boss waiting for him to come kiss the ring. Minions. Losers. Biggs' brother was Biggs' brother sucking on the dicks of his Biggs' brother.
Rory and Mal, for the most part, is not.
What is going on? This shit ain't real. 2026 ain't real. This is crazy. What?
Not academics in terms of how far they're gonna take it. Like, for example, like if this was academics, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is gonna get out of hand because now Ak is about to come on camera and he's probably about to talk about Rick Ross' daughter, how Rick Ross, Ak is gonna go to the floor with this. I don't think Rory and Mal is gonna go to the floor with this. I think Rory and Mal, for the most part, understand they like to be outside, and liking to be outside means you gotta have as little issues as possible. You gotta, if you like to be outside, you gotta have as little enemies as possible, right? So I don't know how far this is gonna go. I don't think Mal is gonna take Rick Ross mentioning his brother too lightly. So we gotta wait, right? Probably until middle of the week to hear Mal's response to this, man. But y'all let me know in the comment section. What do you got?
Man, I think Ross being super petty. I think Rory and Mal should just avoid the situation. The buddy about to drop an album, so you responding back to him is feeding into what he wants y'all to do, and y'all giving him free promo. Ross know what he doing, but with the Drake situation, it's super petty, bro. I wouldn't say his name because you're fucking up with real fans. Because I'm a Ross fan, so now I'm looking at you like, what's going on, bro? And I don't like that shit, bro. I feel you should just focus on your album, your businesses. Let Drake do him. He about to be the #1 rapper for a little while, and that's just the way it is. But make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. It's Mr. 30. I'm out.